A few decades after Jesus walked the earth, the armies of Rome marched on Jerusalem, determined to crush a rebellion in Jesus' homeland. Within 4 years, almost nothing remained of the city or its temple. Meanwhile, back in Rome, Jewish followers of Jesus faced their greatest test. The emperor had already executed Peter and Paul. Believers might avoid their fate if they identified as Jewish, but not as followers of Jesus. For many, this was the breaking point. Jesus was their Messiah, the long-promised deliverer. But deliverer of what? The kingdom was in ruins. The movement was hanging by a thread. What future was left? Was the Jewish story over? Enter the 3 most distinctively Jewish books of the New Testament: Matthew, Hebrews, and James, with the resounding message that the story isn't over. Jesus was not a disruption, but the culmination of everything that came before. These books present Jesus as a new and decisive chapter in the story. Matthew starts with an ancestor list, connecting Jesus to the generations that preceded him, all the way back to Abraham, father of the Jewish people, and David, the great Jewish king. Matthew also depicts Jesus as a new Moses. His life echoes that of Israel's first great deliverer, who led God's people out of slavery and went up a mountainside to bring them God's law, a blueprint for living that would not be matched until Jesus climbed a mountain and gave his Sermon on the Mount. Even the shape of Jesus' story, as presented in Matthew, echoes the ancient Jewish story. At the heart of the Jewish scriptures are 5 books called the Torah, which tell what God did for his people and what God taught in the very beginning. Matthew is arranged into 5 books as well, each describing what Jesus did and what Jesus taught about the kingdom of heaven, God's reign coming down to earth. In the ancient Jewish story, the presence of God broke into one corner of the world, the first act in a much larger drama. In Matthew's story, the presence of God returns in the form of Jesus, who won't just redeem one corner of the world, but will rescue all of creation. The story isn't over. It's just getting started.